Testing. All right, guys. Hey, good morning for everyone who's tuning in. Right. This is just a quick sound check that I'm doing to check if can everyone hear me clearly. Right. I moved from the usual MacBook mic to a proper mic now, so hopefully you guys will be able to hear me properly. Right. Yeah. Just I see Emad, I see Rhino already having a pretty good conversation here. Right. You got 20 plus of you guys already tuning in. Right. All right. Nice. Loud and clear. Nice to see you guys tune in. Hey, Joel. Hey, Matt Maniac. Right. Hey, Emad. Right. For those of you guys who were around for the unofficial accidental dry run 24 hours ago. Right. Nice to see you guys here again. Hey, David. Yamil. Nice to see you, man. Luca. Hey, Leandro. Nice to see you. A lot of familiar names. Right. And yeah, it's nice to finally see you guys again, right? I'm back this time doing the pre-market live analysis. So in roughly 12 hours, we're going to do another live analysis with a little bit more of what the market has happened, but that won't be done by me. It'll likely be done by Jin or Young Jin, right? But yeah, in today's session, right, it'll be a pre-market live analysis focusing on the news events that are coming for the week, right? Along with that, right, my key technical setups. Right, my key technical setups, I kind of focus a little bit more on the D1 time frame. If we have time to zoom in, we'll zoom into the H4 time frame. But yeah, the D1 time frame for now. Hey Kanamba, nice to see you again. Right, all right, a lot of familiar names. Lucia, nice to see you. Right, David, nice to see you. Wow, your time zone plus is at 2 a.m. All right, Tariq, nice to see you. 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. means what time zone is that? I'm in Singapore. Now it's 5 a.m. Right, so the reason why we picked this time was because apparently in London, if you're in London, it'll probably be about 9 p.m. after your dinner, right? Then if you're in Europe, it might be 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So you're kind of winding down the day, about to sleep. So it's a good time to practice before, good to understand what's going to happen in the market before it begins next day. Right, and if you're in Australia, if you're in Sydney, right, it should be about 8 a.m. You're just getting up for the day, so it's supposed to be more or less a sweet spot, right? Yeah. I practically got about a little bit more than 1 hour of sleep. I was trying to catch the Manchester United match, right? They have won, right? Yes, first title in 6 years. so it was worth it, right? So after that, I was too excited, can't sleep. So I figured might as well just start looking at the markets a little bit earlier. All right. Oh, okay. LA 15 hours. Oh, crazy stuff, man. All right. South Africa is at 11 p.m. That's good. That's good, Valley. All right. So that's the timing that we're going for. Hopefully, it's not too late. It's just about if you guys can get a free pass from your loved ones to look at the markets on a Sunday night, that's the best thing ever. Okay, that's the best thing ever. All right, nice to see you guys tuning in nice and early. All right, this will be a weekly session, same time, same place every week. It's likely going to be me for the better part of the next few months, right? Maybe except at the end of March where I might be taking like 1 week break or something, right? But otherwise, it should be me. A nice little pre-market live analysis every Sunday evening or Monday morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Right, Angel, nice to see you tuning in from Switzerland. It should be about 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. there, right? Same time every Sunday, right? At least I finally have a time to see you guys. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to have a nice live trading sessions with you, our legendary live trading sessions. All right, so disclaimer as usual, guys, remember any information in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay, right? Oh, UAE 1 a.m. nice. Germany should be what, 11 p.m. I think. All right, so it should be about towards the end of the day for the majority of you guys, right? Unless you're in Asia, right? Yeah, it should be 10 p.m. It's perfect timing, right? For me, it's actually a pretty good timing too, right? 5 p.m. no, 5 a.m. Sorry, 5 a.m. My kid is still asleep. All right, it's still asleep. So I just got in about a little bit more than 1.5 hours. He'll be all awake and stuff. Yeah, so it's a good timing for me too. Okay, the agenda for today. Agenda for today is that we're gonna take a quick look at the news events, right? Just a few ones. I think I'm gonna highlight just about 5 of them. Right, I'm going to look at analysis on majors, right, with a focus on DXY, right, our usual G7 currency pairs, right. I'll look at maybe oil and gold, right, and then, since those are the big movers, right, then we can, if we have time, I'll be able to look at some of the crosses, all right, and maybe even the indices, okay. Yes, yeah, we'll talk about that later, okay. No mentions, no chat about the VIP room for today, maybe later, okay. Kelvin, nice to see you again, man. Nice to see you again. All right, at 10:30, no, at 1 p.m. LA. It's actually a pretty good timing too, right? I didn't fully factor that in, but I guess 1 p.m. on a Sunday in LA. Well, I guess most of the time you should be having lunch with the missus, right? Having lunch with missus. So if you got free pass on that, good stuff. All right. Okay. Introducing your host for today. All right. For those of you guys who are here for the first time watching, right, and may not know me, right, this is me, right, before I became a dad and before I put on like 5 kilos, right, Desmond Leong, right, so I started analyst here at at IC Markets, right, so I run the award-winning research firm, Everest Fortune Group, also the Forex Army, finalist 2019, 2020, 2021 for best FX and best equity research. Really usually work with many of the major financial institutions, let them know where the markets are heading. But we have a special partnership with IC Markets. You've seen us work with them for the longest of times, right? We bring you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that'll take a trading to the next level, right? Yeah, it's that life, man. That life and that bot. Okay, and find me over at Instagram. You can find me at Comfy Desmond. Otherwise, the Forex Army is where I create my funny stuff of indicators and stuff. All right. Now, a few things that we want to do first. Okay, let me see if I have it over here. Okay, there we go. So we will be going through a couple of the majors, as you can see over here, right? After that, we'll be looking at the oil along with gold. All right. In the meantime, there'll be this calendar which we'll be kind of looking at. So for those of you guys who are not familiar with this is the economic calendar, right? So the economic calendar, right? It is useful and it is not useful in depending on your trading style, okay? And it's useful in different degrees depending on your trading style. Okay, what I mean by that is that if you are a scalper, right? A scalper meaning that you get in and out of positions really fast, right? The economic calendar will be more useful for you to avoid key news events like this, this part here where BOJ, their UERA speaks, correct? A lot of volatility, right? Markets might start to fluctuate and go, starts to go up, starts to go down. A lot of speculation, especially in this kind of speeches, because you're trying to decipher, what the person is saying. Does it have any impact on the markets? It's very different from like when a number is released, right? Forecasted and actual, right? Straight away, there's a very concentrated impact, right? All at one single value and time, right? And then it causes a big movement. When a speech happens, usually there's speculation depending on what the person is saying. So it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, right? But yeah, if a scalper, right, many of these big rate key news events, they are likely to whip you out, right? They're likely to whipsaw you out, all right? I'm going to close this off. I'm going to open this in another tab, all right? That has an ad blocker, right? Because I realized that all the ads by the side, I probably needed to make sure that some broken names are not appearing there. Okay, right. It's looking at a few of the stuff, right? Is there a way to add a comic calendar MT4, MT5? There are some indicators out there. I think custom indicators, right? That actually maps the MT4 the news event directly onto the chart itself. So when you're looking at a chart, you kind of know when it's coming, right? So there are some of them out there. Aubrey, nice to see you. Okay, we got Anja Lozano saying that the screen is a little bit blur, right? Guys, could you feedback to me? Is the screen blur? And is it possible that you guys are actually able to click the little gear icon and change the quality to maybe like 720p or the 1080p? All right, Lozano. So I think there should be a little gear icon at the bottom corner of the screen, right? You can click on that and you can adjust the resolution, right? So if 720 is the highest for now, then yes, we can adjust it to 720p. Enable. Yeah, it's I am prioritizing speed, right? So it's okay but not crystal clear. Everything's fine. Yeah, 720p. Yeah, I guess you're gonna make it 720p for now, right? Maybe in the future once then I'll see how we can have it at 1080p. But I am focusing on ultra low latency, so I can see your question is answered fast. So I guess maybe that doesn't prioritize the quality that much. It doesn't go to 1080, but maybe I'll do it the other way around next time. All right, yeah, just adjust it to 720p and it should be fine. Okay, good stuff. All right, guys. Now a few of the key things that we okay. So I mentioned to you as a scalper, right? The rate news events that you see over here, right? This one here for the yen. This one here, GDP month on month, right? Consumer confidence, CPI year on year, right? These are things that will cause the market to spike, right? And if you're a scalper, you want to stay away from it, okay? Or rather, we want to try to maybe monitor your position, right? Personally, I tend to get stopped out the most, right? When I forget there's a news event, I leave my position there. I might be right, right? You guys know my scalping strategy. I might be right, but because of the close of how much volatility happens, I either get filled at a terrible level because of the spread during this period of time, right? I'll get spiked out, right? So big rate news events, they happen once, sometimes twice a day, right? And sometimes on the currency pair that you're watching, it might be a good idea to stay out of it. Day trader, swing trader, the outcome of these news events are they're gonna help a lot more, right? Especially in day trading, right? Kind of shifts the momentum for the day, right? Swing trading usually I think is a little bit trickier. Probably focus is affected by the fundamentals a little bit less than the day trades, right? But is definitely worth looking at. This is the first one that we kind of want to watch out for. This BOJ UEDA speaks, right? What we're going to do for, you notice that there is no forecast and there's no previous over here. You can actually click on this to get a little bit more information on here, right? But the consensus that my team is looking at is that we are actually just kind of watching for comments regarding his intention to change or hold the current ultra easy monetary policy. What it basically means that is if the change is to tighten, the yen is going to strengthen. If it's going to hold the current, ultra easy monetary policy, the yen is going to continue to weaken, right? The yen is going to weaken means dollar yen is going to shoot up. Okay, so this is the first thing that we kind of want to watch out for. And actually, the first big really news event that we expect to move the market would be this one here on a Tuesday, depending on the time zone that you're tuning in from, right? In Asia, it's about afternoon, right? But yeah, this is the first big news event that we expect to move. And if you're trading CAD, right, GDP month on month over here, right? Click on it over here, and you can see this is the it's a little bit of the information you can read about it, right? But the interesting thing here is that we are even though you can see the forecast, the previous and the forecast. Previous of 0.1% is actually forecast at 0.0%. We actually think that it's likely going to hold at 0.1%, same as the previous one at 0.1%, right? So if this happens and the difference, the difference in the actual results is the actual result differs from the forecasted, what's going to happen is that it's going to lead to a further weakening in CAD. So when CAD goes down, dollar CAD goes up. Okay, Again, I repeat, when CAD goes down, dollar CAD goes up, right? This kind of a relationship you should more or less be understanding it right now. All right. Just let me just check if anyone got any questions. Okay, all good so far. Okay, ERA Live FX, yeah, good stuff, man. Right? I kind of wanted to explain the DXY, so I'll break it down for you guys later. I don't I try to go through an educational process too, to not just give out our forecast, but to also break it down for you guys, so you get a better understanding of how I arrive at this. All right. Now let's go back here. Now a few key news events. There are only 3 other key news events which I think you should watch out for. Okay, this one, Wednesday, CPI year on year. Okay, a very, very important news event, right? Because the RBA has indicated that they expect inflation to continue rising in the short term. If this CPI data, right, you see this 8.4% is the previous forecaster is 8.1%, right? If CPI is released higher than 8.4%, this could reinforce the need, for further rate hikes, from the RBA. So you could see Aussie dollar rise briefly, right? So 8.1% is the forecasted, but what you really want to look out for is if the actual result that is released is above 8.4. If it's above 8.4, expect Aussie dollar to really, really shoot up, the kind of rise is briefly, right? This is going to be a big news event that you want to watch out for. The other one is down here. The second last news event, which I think we should be looking at, is the US ISM manufacturing PMI. You can read about what it means over here, right? But the key thing that I want to highlight to guys is that the flash manufacturing and services PMI for the US last week, it showed strong improvements. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. The flash manufacturing PMI and the flash services PMI last week, for the US showed strong improvements. So this one, right, the ISM manufacturing PMI, along with I think it's this one down here, the ISM services PMI, if they show similar improvements this week, it could be a strong signal for the US economy to go up, right? So that means there's upside for the DXY. And this is actually on Wednesday. Okay, so if we might be bearish, right, technically on the DXY, right? So this is one key news event to look out for. It can cause things to rebound a bit, right? This is the part where you guys know, I guess you saw in my analysis, a little bit bearish on the DXY. Yeah, but if this actually performs slightly better, right, and it comes out of a pretty good reading, right, it's a good signal for a strong US economy, then the DXY might be going up. So key news event, especially because when you're trading the USD, the DXY, it is the basis for everything else that will be moving. Okay, now let's see. Okay, you guys got me. Let's go into the technicals part. All right, the juicy stuff. Okay, let's go into here, the technicals. Okay, now I'm gonna just remove some stuff and kind of show you how I do my analysis. Okay, first and foremost, right, I actually the DXY, I go into the 1-day chart, right? I zoom out and I see if there's any key level for me to look at. Nope, a little bit far away, so I'm going to zoom back in. Okay, let me highlight the key levels which I think are important to you. First and foremost, right, key level over here. This is a nice overlap resistance. You guys know me, right? I always love a good overlap. Why is this a good overlap? Nice reaction from here, right? Nice bounce from here. Nice bounce from here, nice reaction from here. Okay, this level here is clearly an area of interest, right? A lot of people are keeping their eyes on this level, and price happens to just be reaching that level, right? I expect prices to test this. I expect prices to really test this level. Okay, it's a nice overlap resistance, right? You can actually highlight an area, right? It's actually a bit of a resistance, this entire area over here. So this could actually stretch all the way back. A nice bit of resistance to look at over here. Okay, in terms of Elliott wave structure, for those of you guys who are interested, right, I'm actually seeing something like a wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2. This could be the bit of a wave 3. This could be a wave 4, and we could be seeing a further move down, right? So this looks like a very quick movement down. Looks like a zigzag zigzag recovery, right? And another movement down. Rule of alternance is that if this is a more drawn out wave 3, this is a quicker wave 4, and then we could see a move down. But this is just eyeballing it, right? Is saying at the first touch the price reacts strongly to horizontal, but the second touch the price has smaller bounce. Yes. Do you mean for this current level, the horizontal level? Okay. Yeah, it's what I call this one is very smaller level, but it's a magnetic level. Yeah. It's a magnetic level to look at. It means there is definitely going to be a reaction here, so you can't just trade it based on this level, right? But since when it comes to trading, I always tell you guys, right, it's a matter of adding up the probabilities. Okay, it's always a case of adding up the probabilities. It's never a case of looking at a single analysis and thinking whether yes we can take the trade or we don't take the trade. It's looking at it's all a game of probability. If you read Trading in the Zone, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So you can see I draw a retracement from here to here. I do know this, if I'm not wrong, 38% is just about there, right? 38% from there, but if you also take a 38% from here, you can see price is just about testing that level. Okay, now, so there's a nice bit of resistance over here, all right? So I have a natural bearish bias for it. Okay, meaning that there's resistance, right? So super factually looking at it, right, as a technician, if there's resistance, right, price either needs to break this resistance or it's going to reverse from here. What other things can I throw in? I throw in an Ichimoku cloud, right? And this is actually a big indicator for me, because you look at DXY, look at the way it behaves to the Ichimoku cloud. When it's here, you can see it's been obeying the Ichimoku cloud really nicely. Okay, it's been obeying it really nicely, right? And now that it's crossover, there's a nice big cloud over here. Okay, I like to liken this to when there's rain. Okay, when there's rain and you look at the sky, if it's a passing cloud or if it's a really heavy rain, based on how thick the clouds are, right? So in this case, the cloud is pretty thick, right? So it's going to take a little bit for price to break out from here. Okay, so we got two things now. We got the overlap resistance over here, that's number one, and you got the Ichimoku cloud number two. So we got two reasons why we might be seeing a bearish reversal. Okay, of course it's worth noting that price is in a general downtrend because you're seeing lower highs, right? So there's that little bit of a bearish trend there. Okay, now so these are probably the two reasons why we should be seeing a little bit of a reversal, right? Mustafa, we'll be looking at Aussie dollar in a bit, right? We're going through the majors today. Okay, now in terms of the next resistance that we're looking at, right, it will be over here. I'll be highlighting over here. This would be the first resistance. This level, I think I'm going to call it the pivot. All right, I'll pivot as the key level that we could be seeing a potential reversal from. And how low it can go, I'll probably just play it down to here as the first support. Okay, why do I play down to here? Because technically, right, we don't need to play a move all the way down to here, right? We don't need to play a move all the way down to here. We can actually just play it down to the next key resistance, key support level down there. That's my trading style. I play from one resistance, one support. And if you think about it, on the 1 day time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 bars that form, it should give you, a small movement. I wouldn't say a small movement here, but from here to here, is just enough for a gauge in the next 1 week. If you were to forecast it any further, it might be 1 month, a couple of weeks, right? So it's not going to be that effective. Remember that if you are going for the forecast, preparing for the week ahead, we want to know what's going to happen. It's usually better to just see what's going to happen. We don't want to forecast something that's too far away, right? Okay, yes, I'll be looking at some of the indices in a bit. Okay, thanks for sharing that with us, John. And let's go to the next one, right? So as you guys know, when it comes to trading, it's also a question of, I mentioned you, probabilities adding up, and that form of probability can come in the form of correlation, right? What I mean by that, euro dollar. Okay, I think same percentage scale. So you can see euro dollar. okay, it tends to move in the opposite direction as a negative correlation with DXY. Okay, when one goes up, the other goes down. When one goes up, the other goes down. So you can see they're almost like when looking into a pond or river, right? You know, you see the reflection is always the other way around, right? So this is the thing that you need to take note of about euro dollar, right? It tends to be negatively correlated to DXY. So what does that mean? Sorry, just give me a second. All right, T1, I'll answer your question in a bit, right? But we're going to jump to euro dollar now. So if I was expecting a reversal on DXY, then I need to be looking at euro dollar, and it should ideally be telling me that it's going to have a bounce, right? So euro dollar here, let me just delete these things and show you guys what I mean, right? Euro dollar, right? It's not vodka, it's water. Okay, I'm living the dad life now. I think I need as much like functional sleep as possible. Right, I sometimes just get a drink and I can't function next day. Right, that's a real dad life, man. Right, but yeah, looking at here on euro dollar, and I also noticed what's really nice is that there is testing this Ichimoku cloud, right? It's testing this Ichimoku cloud, and it's also testing, right? As you can see, a really nice support level over here. Just that this support level that is not as right, you know, is not right at the same level that DXY is looking at. It's slightly lower, right? There's a little bit more buffer that we're looking at, right? But yes, it's nice support level. A little bit of a trend line over here. But what I do not really like about this trend line is that even though theoretically there is one touch, two touch, three touches, what I don't like about this trend line is after these three touches, there were no other touches along the way. All right, so I don't really, it is a theoretical trend line, right? But it's missing. It doesn't hold that well for me because since then, price didn't really come and test it a few more times, right? So, but yeah, you know, technically price is making higher lows, right? So it's a little bit of a bullish trend, right? And this level down here, I believe it actually coincides, right? It coincides with a Fibonacci retracement, right? You can do it up here, right? And there we go, very nice 38% retracement that touches this level right away, right? And it's a nice overlap support, a nice little bit of a trend line, nice Ichimoku cloud, right? So we should be able to see prices kind of bounce from here. So I would call this our key pivot. Okay. Yasir, this is the second time you do you mean explaining it? Moss is asking, is it possible for the news to spike and make a test on the trend line? It is possible, but I don't rate this trend line that well, because yes, do you mean 24 hours ago, right? Yeah, is that what you're referring to? All right, but this is the first time I'm explaining these levels today, right? Unless you mean the dry run that we were doing 24 hours ago. Okay, now, okay, we're back to here, right? I wouldn't place that much emphasis, right, Moss? I wouldn't place that much emphasis on the trend line per se. I'll be looking more at the at this 38% retracement and this pivot level over here. Okay, along with the Ichimoku cloud that is going to be testing a bit. All right, so I do expect a little bit of a bounce, right? In terms of how high it can bounce, I am a little bit wary that this is, if you zoom back, there isn't a really great level. Instead of playing it all, technically you should be playing all the way up to here, right? I'm located in the Singapore, so Asia time zone. It's about 5 a.m. here, right? Yasir, right? If you attended this thing, the same dry run 24 hours ago, it's a dry run, right? So this is the actual session that we're doing. Okay, I might not want to play the move up to here, but technically you could, because this move down here, this recent spike down here, is the equivalent of this this high on euro dollar. So you could technically expect prices to make a nice little bounce up to here, right? So it's nice to see that the euro dollar and DXY are more or less kind of pointing in the same direction, right? Not so much same direction, but in terms of correlation, they seem to be obeying pretty well, right? So I got my support level over here, right? We don't expect prices to break this level and this trend line, this Ichimoku, but if it does, right, the next key level that it should drop down to is this 30 and 50%. It might be here, but I actually think that it'll come down to give it a little bit of buffer, right? Put the first support down here instead. Okay. Now, so this is the view on euro dollar, and of course you know me, right? I'm a big fan of correlation. The next thing we need to look at euro dollar after euro dollar is dollar franc. Why do we look at dollar franc? It's because dollar franc has a similar negative correlation with euro dollar. You notice the same thing, right? They tend to move in opposite direction. When one goes up, when one goes down. When one goes down, one goes up. All right. So you can see down here, right? It's dollar franc tends to be pretty tends to move in the opposite direction of euro dollar, which means you move in the same direction as DXY. So if you want to further confirm your bias, you're trying to line up multiple pieces together, right? The good thing is that when these correlations work out, you get a really good trade. But if you get any of the analysis wrong, it becomes a terrible trade across all the instruments, right? 15-minute New Zealand retail sales, right? Yeah, maybe you can keep a lookout on Kiwi dollar at that point of time, but let's look at dollar franc really quickly first. This is the key level, which I want to highlight to you guys. Dollar franc, zooming out a bit. I think it's all the way here, right? Dollar franc. This is the key level I'm looking at for dollar franc. About over here. I'm going to put it pivot over here. All right. T1, I can see your question again, right? I guess if you have 200 euros, you know, you probably want to focus a little bit more on day trading. And where should you invest, right? You can open an account with IC Markets. They give you access to a wide range of instruments, right? So do check it out, right? But don't just jump in, right? What I recommend is that you look, go through our videos, go through our analysis, right? See the way we teach a lot of the educational stuff here, right? And brush up your skills first before jumping in. If not, I can assure you're gonna lose money, right? Right? No, that's bad advice, right? Right? On weekly time frame. Nah, I wouldn't call this a double top. So Ima is asking if this is a technical double top on the weekly time frame. Why I don't agree it's a double top, because I tend to look a double top actually depends on you need to look at the move preceding it. Okay, so if a double top would be good if it's like that, and then you see a double top over here. Okay, so you have there's a little bit more proportion, right? But if it's like this, right, the double top is like this, right? The preceding move is too small. It's not going to be that effective, right? Yes, there's no big uptrend movement before that, right? So it's worth noting that, you know, on the 1 day time frame, dollar franc is also right about testing this key level, right? Really nice reaction from here, nice bounce from here, nice bounce, nice reaction. So it's a nice magnetic level that is being tested. So yeah, you know, and it's at the edge of the Ichimoku cloud too, so we could see a nice little reversal, right? So no, it's kind of similar to what we expect DXY to reverse, on euro dollar to bounce. So on dollar franc, we're expecting a reversal too, and this one actually lines up. I don't think it lines up that nicely. 38% is slightly higher, so you might need to give it a little bit more buffer space, right? But it is nice to see that it's on resistance. That means the correlations are lining up. This week is going to be a key week, right? I can see a lot of the levels are very close, right? And that means you're going to know if you're right or wrong right away. In fact, in about 1 or 2 days time, right, we will know, or we will have a really good gauge on whether our analysis is correct. All right, so okay, let's take a look at Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar, right? As John says, it's a double top right now on Kiwi dollar. I was actually, oh yeah, you know, I happen to have drew this previously, right? Double top formation, correct, on Kiwi dollar, and this is the key level I'm looking out for, right? And what I like to highlight to you guys for Kiwi dollar is that not only is there a double top kind of double top reversal, really clean double top reversal, but it also looks like price is crossing below the Ichimoku cloud. So a nice little cross below the Ichimoku cloud, a nice little change in momentum. Okay, let's see. In terms of a trend line, you can't really draw much of a trend line over here for Kiwi dollar. Not much of a trend line, but it's worth noting that you can see that there is a general bearish flow, and the price is making lower highs, right? So if this confirms the move, this double top is a very strong indicator, right? We could see prices drop a lot lower from here. Really nice level to look at, guys. Is yeah, so this is the thing, right? You understand how it works, but the thing about DXY and Kiwi dollar, right, is that you need to look at the correlation, okay? Because yes, technically DXY is going to weaken. So if DXY is going to weaken, Kiwi dollar technically is going to strengthen, right? But if you look at the correlation, so what I like to do is I like to look at the I won't use this. I think I need to use it. Let me open another window real quick, right? I'm going to look at the my FX book correlation. Correlation. Okay, and come into here. What you want to do is you want to look for a time frame, right? Correlation over the past 1 month, right? You click on. Do they even have DXY here? Ah, shit. I mean, oh man, I don't see the dollar index over here. But let's just say we look at it from a euro dollar, right? Let's click on it over here. There is no DXY. Okay, so we go with a negatively correlated one. You notice that euro dollar, right? In terms of the correlation, Kiwi dollar, okay, it is 84.9%. So yeah, it's gonna be moving in. It does affect it. No, this is 1 day time frame. Looking at the 1 month time frame. Well, okay, 1 month time frame, it looks like it does move quite similarly with Kiwi dollar, right? Even for the 1 week time frame, it might 90%. So this is the tricky part over here, right? Because we're expecting a bounce on euro dollar, but at the same time Kiwi dollar kind of looks like it's going to break out already, right? We got John saying there's no signal. T1, right? I think I will not answer your questions here because this is a live market analysis. Okay, if I have a little bit more time at the end, right? Yes, I play FIFA, right? Yeah, so I have a little bit more time in the end. I'll be able to answer you, but we got to focus on the market analysis now. All right. So yeah, Kiwi dollar, right? Kiwi dollar. The tricky thing here, right, is that it looks like euro dollar is suggesting there's a bounce. Dollar franc suggesting a reversal. DXY suggesting a reversal. So technically, this might be a fake out. All right. Let's fine tune this a bit with Fibonacci. Okay. Looks like price is just about testing the 38% retracement. So, all right, let me just zoom out a bit, see if there's anything. Yeah, it's just about testing the 38% retracement. Okay. Now, if it's testing the 38% retracement, that means this is the outer limit of the support that we could be looking at. Yeah, so it could be a little bit of a fake out over here because 38% retracement is a key level, definitely a key level to kind of look at. All right, so, oh man, all right, so this is the part where you can actually use you don't look at Kiwi dollar in isolation by itself, right? Because if you do, then you handicap yourself, right? John, only US in reverse without price action, draw line quite resistance. All right, anyway, let's not digress too much. Right, you can't do much. You can't see much price action now until the market opens. Right, so if you have a differing opinion, right, you can do your own analysis, man, John. Okay. Anyway, Kiwi dollar. Okay, Kiwi dollar. We're seeing a little bit of a buffer here. Okay, so the danger that we're looking at is that DXY, DXY, euro dollar, and dollar franc, they are painting a correlated picture. Right, we're expecting USD to weaken. Right, if USD is going to weaken, Kiwi dollar, technically, right. Kiwi dollar should be making a bounce, right? But then it's testing this level. It suggests that there might be a double top reversal, 38% retracement, right? 38% retracement is the only hope that is holding over here, okay? what is worth looking at is the equally positively correlated pair called Aussie dollar. All right. Now, Aussie dollar, the few key things that I want to highlight to you guys is that nice bit of change in momentum over here, right? You can see price breaking out the Ichimoku cloud, right? You can see this level over here, which has been broken, right? This is actually more or less the pivot level, nice little pullback that we can be looking at. But there isn't another key nice level, a nice support level for Aussie dollar, right? You zoom out and you see there isn't really a nice support level, right? Look at it. Right, there, if you look at the Fibonacci retracements tool, look at the Fibonacci retracements tool, it looked like it had broken the 38% retracement, right? Very key level over here that it broke. Just gonna highlight this level to you, okay? 38% retracement over here, which lined up very nicely with the ascending support and the Ichimoku cloud, right? Looks like price kind of broke it already. So, it could be actually dropping further, right? So this, the thing that I guess we need to highlight to ourselves, all right, is that the Aussie dollar, right, Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar, both which are very positively correlated, both are suggesting that we might be seeing a drop. It is not entirely out of the question, right, because not everything is going to be dictated by DXY, right? DXY by itself, is the strength of the USD against different currency pairs, right? So Aussie dollar, how it's gonna measure up against the AUD and the NZD, it could be a different story, right? So we could be seeing there's the potential that if you keep an eye on here, right, there could be a drop in Kiwi dollar to this level down here, right? But in this case, my pivot will be down here instead. Okay, my pivot will be here, meaning that I need to wait for a confirmation price to break this level for it to drop further. Okay, I won't be kind of shorting now. I still need a little bit of a confirmation. Aussie dollar isn't that clear. Rather, the entry for Aussie dollar isn't that clear, right? Compared to Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar, very clear. Put a double top kind of reversal that we're looking at over here, right? Very clear double top reversal that we're looking at over here. So we could be seeing a nice drop down to here. In terms of the technical structure, right? Kiwi dollar is definitely a lot clearer than Aussie dollar. Okay, so yeah, we kind of went through DXY, Euro dollar, dollar franc, Aussie dollar, and Kiwi dollar. Now it's kind of worth taking a look at dollar yen, right? Same thing. I would just want to highlight. I will remove these things and highlight the levels to you. Okay. Now, dollar yen. Let's take a quick look at it. Okay. Yeah, Aussie dollar ain't that clear. I mean, if you kind of look at it, the head and shoulder pattern, you can consider this like a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern, right? But it's not as clear. Even then, right? The movement from here, right? From here to here, if you look at it, right? If you do a strict kind of projection, right? You do a 100% projection. You see a strict 100% projection. Technically, the exit potential of Aussie dollar, if you look at a strict head and shoulder kind of definition, right, the move could be all the way down to here, right? And I'm guessing that is how you get the 0.66 kind of level, right? Big figure, whatever you call it, right? You expect it to go lower, right? In terms of the entry, right? It's not as clear as the Kiwi dollar over here. Kiwi dollar, technically, same thing. Where's the exit potential of the double top? You should expect it to go all the way down. But you notice that the movement from here to here is very different from the movement from here to here. All right. Both, I mean, you could play the markets either way. Just kind of take note about that. But it's a good spot, right? It's a good spot by John, right? If you want to highlight that, there's that little bit of a head and shoulder pattern that you can take note of over here. But yeah, price has since traveled quite a bit from there. Okay, now back to dollar yen. Okay, all right, back to dollar yen. Okay, yeah, if you don't know what it's called the Ichimoku cloud, John. All right, yeah. Yeah, if you don't know what it's called the Ichimoku cloud. All right, now let's go back to dollar yen. What do we expect on dollar yen? Okay, in terms of momentum, a little bit, it's kind of testing the outer limit of the Ichimoku cloud. A little bit of change in momentum, right? You can see, previously it's riding the momentum really nicely over here. It has crossed below, right? It has crossed below, right? It has crossed below, and okay, John, right? First things first. Let me tell you something, right? If you do not agree with the analysis, just look at it and keep it to yourself. All right. I appreciate any feedback that you have, right? But please do not distract anyone else over here. Okay. Right. Yes. Moving averages, right? However you look at it, whether it's channels, channels is one way to interpret momentum, right? Death cross, golden cross, Ichimoku clouds. Another way to assess momentum. There are different things you look at when you trade, right? You don't just look at whatever fancy indicators that you have. You need to consider the bigger picture, right? You need to consider momentum. You need to consider support and resistance. You need to consider leading indicators like Fibonacci. You need to consider correlation to piece the market together, right? Of course, I don't marry everything to one correlation, whether it's DXY or whatever it is. That's why we are analyzing everything and try and piece it all together, okay? If you don't agree with it, right, you can show yourself the way out, right? Because, there are probably other pre-markets analysis that you can look at, right? So yeah, otherwise, if you are hanging around here, right, give constructive feedback, all right? That's all you need to know, okay? No one's forcing you or tying you down to this chair to watch, okay? Now, let's continue. Dollar yen, right? Dollar yen. Let's take a look at dollar yen, okay? So a few things that I kind of want to take note of for dollar yen is that key if you're trying to highlight the key kind of resistance level, right? Key kind of resistance level, it's a little bit harder to see, right? It's a little bit harder to see, right? Let me see over here, right? This is not, there isn't too clear resistance level. Let me just highlight these two levels over here. This to me, right, will kind of be more or less like the pivot level to kind of look at, right? In terms of resistance. Right, the movement is just not as clear, right? The movement is just not as clear. Just let me see if I can do something. Oh no, how do I okay, there we go. John's in timeout, all right, okay. Until he can calm down a bit. All right, so let's continue, okay. Let's continue today's session. All right, guys, time to rock and roll. No problem, Moss. Right? Yeah, it's I don't like to do right. I don't like to do any of the moderation. Right? People tend to be a little bit more respectful. But yeah, let's come back to this. Okay, so yeah, let's look at the dollar yen. Okay, really, if you look at it, the dollar yen movement just isn't as clear from a technical perspective compared to the others, right? Compared to the others, yeah, it's just not as clear, right? I'm just looking at this. Sure, we have the 50% retracement that kind of comes up to here, right? 50% retracement that comes up to here, so probably over here. But, well, man, the dollar yen movement just isn't clear for me. Right? Yeah, I can see on a shorter term, it kind of broke out a little bit of upside momentum over here, a bullish momentum, but price has kind of taken off a bit already, right? So sadly, right? Sadly, I can't really give a good analysis on dollar yen. A little bit tough. So let's save our time on dollar yen and move our time over to pound dollar. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the kind words, right? I guess one of the things that I highlight is that I'm not one to bother pleasing everyone, right? You guys will notice me, alright, if you're here for the first time, right? Yeah, I'm not one to bother to like bend over backwards to try to please everyone. If you're here, it's not as if I'm like, I'm an educator, I'm trying to sell a course and stuff like that. And here, we're all in this together, looking at the markets together. If you've got nothing nice to say, get hell out, right? So, so yeah, you need to be respectful of the people who wake up, spend the time, to do the research, crunch the numbers, present to you guys, right? You've got nothing nice to say, right? Then yes, no one's kind of tying you down to the chair to look at the analysis. Right, but yeah, usually our forecasts are 70%. I would say at least the day trades, the swing trades, the slightly longer term ones, right? They tend to be pretty accurate, right? So yeah, let's go now and look at pound dollar. Let's look at pound dollar. So pound dollar, what I like about this is this level over here. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm looking at for pound dollar, right? I'm keeping out an eye out on here because it does look like it could be a potential little bit of a double top. Okay, yeah. Hey, thanks for your encouraging support, guys. Right. So yeah, looking at pound dollar, right? Overall, still a little bit of a bearish trend, right? Overall, still a little bit of a bearish trend. You can still kind of see prices going down. It kind of bucked the trend a bit over here, but yeah, you know, this little movement over here, this little double top movement could be the first sign of a further movement down, right? Because it's worth noting, right? It's worth noting that yeah, you know, we are on the limits of this little double top movement, right? One thing I like to look at for a pound dollar is to kind of always factor in euro dollar. Okay, I will get to gold in a bit. All right, I'll get to gold in a bit. I think we still have a little bit of time to look at gold, right? Pound dollar, not as clear movement, but yes, a nice little support over here. If you look at euro dollar, if you're expecting a little bit of a bounce from here, right, we could be seeing a little bit of a bounce on pound dollar over here. So don't be too eager to jump in and sell right now to try to play the double top reversal. Right, it could be a triple top, right? Exactly, man. It could be a triple top. And looking at DXY strength, if we're expecting DXY to drop, right, then euro dollar should be making a little bit of a bounce. Pound dollar should be making a little bit of a bounce too, right? Oops, yeah, yeah. Pound dollar should be making a little bit of a bounce too. So I would probably kind of keep my eye out on here, and it looks like it's pretty good. Nice, it's a pretty nice support. And if I'm not wrong, it's a 23% retracement. Something, yeah, it's a 23% retracement that it is failing to break, right? So if it fails to break the 23% retracement, to us, it's always a key sign that a bigger recovery is not on the cards yet. So you could just as well look to play the nice little bounce up to here as the first resistance. Okay, play a nice little bounce up to here. Potentially, this is kind of like one of the levels that we will be looking at. Okay, right? Okay, being super wary of time. Let's go to gold. Do I have anything on dollar CAD? Yeah, dollar CAD, I just want to highlight to you guys, not so clear, right? Nice little ascending support, right? Nice little descending resistance, and it's kind of broken out from there. Clouds are really weak, right? In terms of key graphical levels, not that clear, right? But honestly, yeah, it's if you look at dollar CAD, is really hard to trade, right? I kind of would personally stay out of it, right? A lot of prices whipsawing all over the place. A little bit hard to trade. Honestly, it's a little bit hard to trade dollar CAD. So let's save the time and kind of go to gold, right? Yeah, I think I was highlighting this level on gold. Let me share with you guys how I got it. Okay, now gold, what I like to do is this really, really nice overlap over here. Bam. Okay, I'm gonna put this as my pivot. All right, why is a nice overlap, right? You can see price bounce one time, bounce two time, react another time, kind of react multiple times over here. So it's key magnetic level. Price is testing it. Price is also testing the Ichimoku cloud, right? Good bit of pound yen, yes, here, right? Might be worth looking at to see the correlation with pound dollar. All right. Yeah, it's a really nice level over here, right? And I think if I'm not wrong, it's at what? It's kind of testing. It kind of broke the 38% already. So I'm guessing the 50% is just slightly lower. Yep, and that is why I highlighted another level over here. All right, so this is kind of like the support area that we're looking at. Okay. Yeah, Rhino. Rhino's all-in trader. Just be careful, guys. Right? No, don't go all in. Okay. Right, but yeah, it's a nice bit of support that we're looking at over here. So, fairly good chance that we could see a bounce. For those of you guys who are wondering, yeah, 1800 Rhino highlighted is actually big. We call it big figure, right? Meaning that the numbers at the back are round numbers, right? So it's the 1800, the 1900, the 2000 level, as you can see, like 2000 level over here, right? Nice psychological levels that price tends to bounce from. All right, so it's we could be seeing a nice little bounce from here. I have a slight bias that we should be able to see a bounce, right? In terms of the support level, this would be the next key support level. I'm going to highlight it over here. Bam, first support. The first support over here, and how high can it go, right? I mean, over the next 7 days, it would be too ambitious to say price can come all the way up to here. So you kind of just want to play maybe a 38% retracement. You know, you could just look to play the 38% retracement or the 50% retracement, like a small little bounce would be enough, right? It'll be a little bit difficult to call the move all the way up to here, right? But there is a decent chance that price might be able to go all the way up to there, right? So yeah, for gold, could be seeing a nice little bounce from here, okay? Now, lastly, we're going to look at, if you have time to look at pound yen, but I'm going to look at crude oil first, WTI. This is what I'm noticing on crude oil, right? It's a little bit of a squeeze that is happening, okay? A little bit of a squeeze. We can see prices, you know, being squeezed over here, right? Between this nice little support that it keeps bouncing up from, right? And this little bit of resistance, okay? So the squeeze is happening, right? Price is generally, you know, in a little bit of a bearish trend. Price is generally in a little bit of a bearish trend, right? So we could be seeing price, right, break out strongly in one direction, okay? A little bit trickier for crude oil, right? Just looking at this. Yeah, it's really tricky. No key level, no clear key support resistance levels. Technically, this is the clearest overlap I can find. And technically, in terms of support, right, this is probably one of the clearest support levels that you can find. Okay, not many key levels. So when it comes to trading, right, you notice we are looking at a couple of instruments here. We got support level, we got resistance level, right? We did look through a couple of majors. We did look through a couple of commodities. The important thing that you want to take note of is that don't trade an instrument for the sake of trading it. Don't trade crude oil, don't trade gold for the sake of trading it. The reason you're trading is to make money, okay? Let me re-emphasize that. The reason you're trading is to make money. Don't trade for the sake of trading, okay? So if there is no good opportunities, no one is, you know, tying you to the chair and say you have to trade oil or you have to trade gold. If the opportunities are not clear, you kind of stay away from it, right? You know, you kind of want to bank on the clearer setups that I've shown you, especially in some of the majors. Instead of these setups here where, you know, it's a lot, you know, the market structure, it looks a lot more, right? It looks a lot more like it's in the middle of, like, it's kind of ranging and still trying to decide its direction, right? So if the market, you know, if the movement is not clear, no one's forcing you to trade it, right? Remember, you're trading to make money. You're not trading for the sake of trading. All right, and in that case, you know, try to focus on the setups that look clearer and better. All right. Okay, I got the request for Bitcoin and Euro Aussie. Let me see if I got a little bit of time. I got a little bit of time to look through it. Let's look at Bitcoin. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. So Bitcoin, I'm gonna remove the Ichimoku cloud because it doesn't work that nicely. Okay. Just a nice structural perspective, right? A little bit of a reaction here, resistance here. This is the key resistance level, right? That we're looking at. Okay, does it line up with any Fibonacci? I don't think so. Right, 23% is probably still slightly further away, right, over here, right? So it kind of needs to break the 23% to trigger a bigger move, right? So then I zoom into the 1 day time frame, right? 1 day time frame. Man, okay, so Bitcoin, okay, key level to watch out for. I will call this what I call a upside confirmation. Okay, so I'm not saying that you can or should play a reversal from here, right? Not necessarily, right? Hey Nick, nice to see you actually, right? I forgot that you're here, right? So yeah, what you want to do is you want to wait for this level. Okay, there are two magnetic levels. This is one big magnetic level, right? This is also another magnetic level. All right, so like magnets, right? They attract each other. Okay, you need to wait for price to break this level. Wait for upside confirmation. If price closes over this level, there's a good chance that it can play the move up to here. Okay, right? Why we can't just play a reversal from here or play a bounce from here right now is that, you know, price is testing. This is a very nice level. It's a very nice overlap resistance, Yeah, I have been good, Nick. Yeah, right. I have been good, right? So yeah, it's a nice little overlap level here. So you know, if you're a little bit bearish on it, bearish on Bitcoin, this could be a level to play reversal from, right? But if you are looking for upside confirmation, right, this is a level that price needs to close above, and that will trigger a move up to this next key level, which is the 23% retracement. I will not play the move beyond there first because you need a confirmation of this level to trigger a bigger move. Remember, we're playing for one support to one resistance to one support most of the time. Okay, now I'm trying to fulfill as many requests, even though we kind of reached our time limit already. I'm going to look at Euro Aussie and maybe I have time for cat franc. Do I even Euro Aussie here? Wow, Euro Aussie is terrible. Sorry, it's freaking terrible. What can you do on Euro Aussie? I guess it's a little bit of a trend line right from here. You want to highlight it. Descending trend, kind of prices being pushed down a bit, but wow, it's very, very messy, right? A little bit of overlap level here, but wow, the charts, just looking at the wicks itself, right? Very, very, very messy charts. Key levels I can highlight over here, but wow, it's I don't fancy trading this that much, but I will highlight the key levels for you, right? In terms of the support, definitely this level, okay. In terms of the support, definitely this level. Norbert, thank you very much. Just curious which country you're tuning in from, right? I notice your name is spelled with the two little dots on top of the O, right? I just wonder which country you're tuning in from, right? Yeah, nice little descending resistance over here. Price will definitely be squeezed, okay? Price will definitely be squeezed between here, depending on how long time frame that you're trading, but there'll be definitely a little bit of a squeeze. If price closes below the first support, we could actually expect prices. Oh, Germany, nice, good stuff, right? If you're watching the Bundesliga there, right, it's exciting stuff, right? All the teams are competing really closely. Yeah, if price, I would kind of keep a lookout for here, right? If you're trading slightly longer term, right? If you're trading slightly longer term on Euro Aussie, I'll wait for prices to close below here, which is clearly, right? I've never seen such a nice overlap level. Okay, I've seen a few of it. Really nice overlap level over here, right? Okay, we'll take a look at it. The markets tend to be a little bit thin in the morning, but there might be a little bit of a spikes to look at, right? But yeah, I would be looking to play the move down from here, because of prices kind of squeezing it over here, right? It'll be a little bit tough to play the move up because you're not sure how far you can go, right? But the move down is a lot clearer if prices closes below this level. Okay. Cat franc, was that the last one? Cat franc. Do I even have cat franc over here? Yeah, I think I was doing cat franc. Cat franc. Not many nice levels on cat franc. This would be the resistance, the pullback resistance that we're looking at, right? Nah, there isn't that many nice levels to look at for cat franc, sadly. I would love to, but I think even the FIB levels are not lining up. I would kind of stay away from cat franc. But if you need to know, right, support level, definitely from here, where it bounced off previously, right? That little bit of support, I would consider this more of a consolidation level. Consolidation, right? You can see prices failing to break out from this level. A little bit of consolidation. So if it does really break out from here, it could trigger. A move up to this key level. You got to keep an eye out for this 23% Fibonacci retracement, though. You ought to keep an eye out for it, right? 23% Fibonacci retracement. I might be looking at the smaller kind of structure over here, right? So yeah, you need prices to break this level to trigger the move up to here. Yeah, it's the market structure for cat franc isn't that nice, right? What was nice plan? All right, no worries, Moss. Yeah, I hope you found that okay right now. I hope this cat franc really works out, but a little bit hard to see where the market is going for this. Okay, let's just see what's happening in the market now that it kind of opened. Just jump into the 4-hour charts, the 1-hour chart. As usual, nothing much that's happening. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit of stuff. Right, we go into the daily time frame, especially on Kiwi dollar. Right. Okay, it looks like no big. See, just as we kind of expected, price is bouncing a little bit from here already. But still really early, right? So let's see how it kind of performs. But remember, guys, don't jump into the trade. You kind of need to wait for confirmation of this double top. Preferably if it breaks this 38% retracement, right? Because it could be a fake out over here. It could be a fake out. Okay. Pound yen. Okay, Tariq is asking for it. All right. So pound yen quick view. Let's take a quick look at it, guys. Last pair of the day that we're looking at. Pound yen. Oh wait, pound yen has a little bit of correlation with pound dollar. Pound dollar expecting a bounce. Pound yen in the support level. Oh shucks. I'll just map it out for you guys, okay? I don't really like well, I won't call this whatever pattern it is, but it is a bottomish pattern, right? What I mean by bottomish pattern, if you think about it from a technical perspective, right? Price failing to break this level 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and it finally broke this level. So it's not like a quadruple bottom or something, right? But it's nice to see that price finally broke this level. A little bit of overlap resistance over here, right? A little bit of overlap resistance over here. This will be my key kind of pivot level to look at, okay? Key pivot level look at. Zoom out on the weekly time frame. What are we looking at, right? Nice little bit of bullish momentum, definitely. Pretty nice. Can't really draw. I guess if you are not too strict about how you draw your channels, granted, bullish momentum for sure, right? Bullish momentum for sure. Right? Not that nice. Not nice. I mean, if you don't take the wicks, there could be a little bit of all you kind of need to know is there's nice little bit of bullish momentum here, right? Little bit of resistance that needs to be broken to trigger the move up. I personally wouldn't play the move beyond here, right? I probably wouldn't play the move beyond here. Some might be tempted to play all the way up to here, but I probably wouldn't play the move beyond here, right? But you kind of need to wait for this level to be broken for price to trigger a move up, right? Yeah, this would be more or less the view that I'm looking at pound yen. The bounce, right, really kind of similar to what you expect on pound dollar, right? Where you're expecting a bounce on pound dollar, okay? All right, guys. Well, our first pre-market analysis. I hope you guys found it useful, right? Looking at having a quick glance over the fundamentals, right? I mean, we will be covering it in more details over time, right? It's a directional market, right? Paul, I'm glad you found it useful too. Yes, we will have a meet, a team meet in Singapore soon, right? A very hectic next few days for me. Next 1 or 2 weeks will be very hectic for me, but we should we can arrange it in time to come, right? Moss holding a short dollar cat, pushing down quite nicely. Dollar cat, yeah, dollar cat. I don't have much of a view on it, but these are the 2 key levels to kind of look out for. Okay, Yamilu, I'm glad you found it useful. Yasir, I'm glad you found it useful. Paul, right? Yep. The keep a lookout on the. I think in 24 in. Not 24 hours, in 12 hours or 11 and a half hours, we have another live market analysis, right, by Jin. If I'm not honest, by Jin, right, you can tune in to catch him too, right? Mad Maniac, awesome, right? Calvin, I hope this provides you guys a good basis to really look at the markets for the rest of the week, right? Frogface, appreciate you tuning in, man, right? Leandro, good to have you here too. Consider to find out regulation. Moss, the reason is that I don't give any live training sessions, right? I'm just fully booked up by brokers, right? So I don't really sell any courses. When the time comes, maybe I will let you know. But yeah, for now, I don't really sell any courses. Don't have the time. So sorry about that, right? Yeah, Ima, I hope you don't make generous donations to the market. I'm actually I'm using my forex funds taking up to 2.3%, 2.3 or 2.8% now. Still doing pretty good on it. Scalping on a 15-minute time frame. For those of you guys who are interested, you can join me on the as a scalper. All right. Okay, I'm gonna cool man. Thanks for letting. I'm probably gonna get like 1 or 2 hours of sleep before I head to the office. All right. Right, David, nice to see you again. Right, Kelvin, right, Kelvin, I think, right, yes, thanks for tuning in. Right, Rhino, oh, Jake Paul fight, all right. No, I'm not aware of the Jake Paul fight, right. Thank you, Lozano, thank you, Zaman, thank you, Imad, right. It's nice to see you guys tuning in. I'll catch you guys around, right? If you guys know where to catch me, right? I will try to be posting there a little bit more often. Otherwise, I will see you guys, right, throughout the rest of the week. Stay safe, trade safe, peace out, guys, right? Oh, help me smash the like button if you can, right? Help me smash the like button if you can. It really helps the YouTube algorithm pick up our videos, right? And yeah, without fail, you're gonna see me here next week, 1 week from now for sure, for another pre-market analysis session. Okay. Cheers and peace out, guys. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys throughout the week. Let's hope most of our forecasts are gonna be correct. Okay. See you guys. Bye, guys. Bye. Cheers.